The large room was filled with strange creatures from across the galaxy. Each one looked different from the others. Some had scales, some had fur, and others seemed to be made of light itself. They all sat in a big circle, talking in angry voices, through machines that changed their words into sounds others could understand. Jake Morrison stood near the wall, holding a tray of drinks. His skin was blue and his arms were longer than they should be. Anyone looking at him would think he was just another worker from the planet Zephyr. But Jake was human. He had been changed by doctors and given special technology to look like one of the blue aliens who worked on this space station. For 3 months, Jake had worked here as a clerk. He filed papers, brought food and drinks, and listened to everything the alien leaders said. Nobody paid attention to him because servants were not important to them. This was exactly what Jake wanted. The meeting had started 2 hours ago. The crystal woman who led the group was very angry. Her name was Ambassador Zixithara, and she came from a race that looked like walking diamonds. When she got mad, her body glowed red like fire. "The humans are a problem that will not go away," she said in her cold voice. "They keep building colonies in space that should belong to us. They take planets and resources that we have claimed for centuries." Jake kept his face calm as he served drinks to the different aliens. Inside, his heart was beating fast. He knew this meeting was important, but he did not know how bad it would be. A creature that looked like a giant bug clicked its mouthparts together. This was Hive Commander Kreshtak, from the insect people called the Swarm. "Humans breed too," fast he buzzed. "In 50 years, they have spread to more systems than most races reach in 500 years. The gaseous being floating in the center of the room rippled with agreement. Sovereign Mistar was made of colored clouds that moved, like smoke. "They do not follow the old rules," the cloud thing said. "They do not ask permission before taking new worlds. They just go and build." Jake moved slowly around the room, his fake alien feet making soft sounds on the metal floor. He had been trained to move like a Zephyrian and speak like one too. Every day for months he had practiced being someone else. "What do you suggest we do?" asked Admiral Corvin. He was from a race of lizard people who loved war. His yellow eyes were cold and his teeth were sharp. "My fleets are ready to attack their colonies." "War costs too much," said Chancellor Vexani. This alien was one of the mind readers from the Psi Collective. It had a large head and no hair, with big black eyes that seemed to see into your thoughts. "We need a solution that removes all humans at once." Jake almost dropped his tray when he heard this. They were not just talking about stopping human expansion. They wanted to kill every human in the galaxy. The Crystal Ambassador's body flashed brighter. "The Chancellor speaks wisdom. We cannot fight humans one planet at a time. They fight back too hard and they never give up. We need to end this threat completely." "But how?" asked General Thokmore from the Stone People. His body looked like it was carved from gray rock. "Humans live on dozens of worlds now. Some of their colonies have millions of people." The mind reader alien smiled, which looked scary on its pale face. "I have been working with our scientists. We can create a weapon that only kills humans. It would be like a sickness that spreads through the air, but it would only affect human biology." Jake felt cold inside his fake skin. A bioweapon that targeted human DNA would kill every person from Earth and all the colonies. Men, women, children, babies, everyone would die. "How long would this take?" asked the Crystal Ambassador. "The weapon is almost ready," Chancellor Vexani replied. "Our laboratories on 3 different worlds are making it now. In 3 days, we will have enough to kill every human in the galaxy." The room filled with sounds of approval. Clicks, hisses, rumbles, and electronic tones as different aliens showed they liked this plan. Jake wanted to scream, but he kept serving drinks and acting like a servant who did not understand what was being said. "We will need to coordinate the attack," said Admiral Corvin. "All human worlds must be hit at the same time. If even one survives, they might find a cure." "My ships can handle the delivery," offered Captain Velnoth from the robot people. His metal body gleamed under the lights. "Our drones can spread the weapon through atmosphere processors on every human world. Jake moved to a computer station and pretended to organize files. Really, he was using a hidden device to record everything the aliens said. The small machine was built into his fake body, and it sent information through space to Earth's military headquarters. As the aliens kept talking, Jake learned more terrible things. They had been planning this for months. They knew about Earth's defenses and had ways to get past them. They had even picked out which aliens would get which human planets. After everyone was dead, "The third planet in their home system has good water," said the Crystal Ambassador. "My people would like to claim it." "Earth?" asked the Lizard Admiral. "Yes, it would make a fine world once the humans are gone." Jake's hands shook slightly as he picked up empty cups. These creatures were talking about his home planet like it was just another piece of property to divide up among themselves. The meeting continued for another hour. Jake listened to every word while pretending to be just a simple worker. The aliens talked about timing, about how to make sure no humans escaped, and about how to split up human technology after the genocide. When the meeting finally ended, the aliens left the room talking excitedly about their plans. Jake was alone with the empty cups and chairs. He activated his secret communicator and sent a message to Earth. The message was short but urgent. Genocide planned. Bioweapon ready in 72 hours. All human worlds targeted. Need immediate help. As Jake cleaned up the room, he thought about his mission. He had been sent here to spy on the aliens and learn about their military plans. He never expected to discover a plot to murder every human in the galaxy. Now he was the only person who knew what was coming. In 3 days, if he could not stop them, everyone he had ever known would be dead. The second day of the alien meeting was worse than the first. Jake arrived at work early, still wearing his fake blue skin and long arms. He had not slept much because he kept thinking about the terrible things he had heard. Admiral Corvin was already in the meeting room when Jake entered with breakfast for the alien leaders. The lizard man was setting up a large screen that showed pictures of human colonies across the galaxy. Each picture had red marks on it, like targets. "Welcome back, honored representatives," Admiral Corvin said as the other aliens came into the room. His voice sounded happy, which made Jake feel sick. "Today we will discuss exactly how to carry out our plan." Jake served food and drinks while trying to look like he did not care about what was being said. Inside, his real heart was beating fast. He had received a message from Earth during the night, but it was not good news. His commanders told him that no rescue was coming. He was on his own. The Crystal Ambassador Zixathera took her seat and looked at the pictures on the screen. "Show us the details, Admiral." Corvin pointed to different colonies with a metal stick. "We will hit 17 systems at once. Each system has between 1 and 5 human planets. The total human population is about 12 billion people." Jake almost choked on the water he was pretending to drink. 12 billion people. That was almost everyone from Earth and all the colonies combined. "The timing must be perfect," continued the Lizard Admiral. "We attack all locations within the same 6-hour window. This prevents any humans from warning the others." Chancellor Vexani from the mind-reading aliens leaned forward. "My people have finished testing the bioweapon. It works exactly as planned. Any human who breathes it will die within minutes." "How do we deliver it?" asked General Thokmore from the Rock People. Captain Velnoth from the robots answered this question. "We will use cargo ships that look like normal trade vessels. Each ship carries atmospheric processors that can spread the weapon through an entire planet's air in less than a day." Jake moved around the room, filling water glasses and pretending to organize papers. He was recording everything on his hidden device, but he wondered if anyone on Earth would get the information in time to do anything about it. "What about their military bases?" asked Hive Commander Kreshitak. "Humans have weapons that could fight back." Admiral Corvin made a sound like laughter, but it was cold and mean. "Their weapons cannot stop something they cannot see. The bioweapon looks like normal air. By the time they realize they are under attack, it will be too late." The meeting continued with the aliens discussing how to divide up human territory after everyone was dead. They talked about human cities like they were just empty buildings waiting for new owners. They discussed human technology like it was treasure they could take. Jake listened to all of this while serving lunch. The aliens were so confident that they did not even lower their voices when he was near. To them, he was just furniture that moved around the room. "The humans have some interesting ships," said Captain Velnoth. "My people would like to study their faster-than-light drives." "Take what you want," replied the Crystal Ambassador. "Once they are gone, everything they built belongs to us." During the afternoon, Chancellor Vexani shared more details about the bioweapon. The mind-reading alien seemed very proud of what his people had created. "The weapon only affects human DNA," he explained. "Other species can breathe the same air and feel nothing. It is completely safe for everyone except humans." "How do you know it works?" asked Sovereign Mistar, the cloud being. The Chancellor smiled in his scary way. "We tested it on human prisoners, 300 of them, all dead within 10 minutes. Jake's fake alien hand tightened on the glass he was holding. These monsters had already killed 300 people just to test their weapon. He wanted to grab the nearest weapon and start fighting, but that would only get him killed. Then nobody would know what was coming." "Excellent work," said Admiral Corvin. "When do we begin the attack?" "Tomorrow night," replied the Chancellor. "All ships will be in position. All weapons will be loaded. At exactly midnight station time, we eliminate the human threat forever." Jake felt like ice water had been poured into his stomach. Tomorrow night. He had less than 30 hours to somehow stop the murder of 12 billion people. The aliens spent the rest of the afternoon discussing details: which ships would go where, how they would communicate during the attack, what to do if any humans tried to escape. Some humans might have ships in deep space, worried General Throckmore. What if they survive and come back for revenge? "We will hunt down any survivors," promised Admiral Corvin. "No human will live to see the next year." As the meeting ended, the aliens left the room talking happily about their plans for the next day. Jake was left alone to clean up their mess. He activated his secret communicator again and sent another urgent message to Earth. This time his message was longer. He told them about the exact timing of the attack, the locations that would be hit, and how the bioweapon would be delivered. He explained that cargo ships would carry the weapon and that atmospheric processors would spread it. But Jake knew that even if Earth received his message, there might not be enough time to evacuate 12 billion people. The colonies were spread across dozens of star systems. It would take days just to get ships to all the locations. As he finished cleaning the meeting room, Jake made a decision. He could not just wait and hope that Earth would save everyone. He had to find a way to stop the attack himself. Jake began to form a plan. It was dangerous and would probably get him killed. But if he could disrupt the alien coordination, if he could delay their ships or damage their weapons, maybe he could save some lives. That night, Jake did not go back to his small quarters like a normal worker would. Instead, he stayed on the station and began to explore areas where servants were not supposed to go. Jake had spent the whole night crawling through air vents and service tunnels. His fake alien body was sore, but he had managed to plant small explosive devices near important parts of the space station. The bombs were tiny and would not kill anyone, but they could shut down power systems and communication arrays. The third day of meetings started with bad news that made Jake's blood run cold. As he entered the meeting room with breakfast, he heard Inquisitor Golmesh from the Zerathi talking in his multiple voices. "We have detected something troubling," the multi-eyed creature announced to the other aliens. Golmesh had dozens of eyes on stalks that moved around his head, and each eye could see different things. "Our security scans found traces of human scent in the air systems of this station." Jake kept his face blank as he set down a tray of food, but inside he was panicking. His disguise was good, but it was not perfect. After 3 months of living here, small amounts of human chemicals had probably leaked from his fake skin into the air. Ambassador Zix Thera's crystal body flashed bright red with anger. "Human scent? How is that possible? There are no humans on this station." "That is what we thought," replied the Inquisitor. "But the evidence does not lie. Somewhere on this station, there is human DNA. Jake continued serving food while listening to every word. The other aliens were getting scared and angry. They had been planning genocide for days, and now they worried that a human might be spying on them. Perhaps it is old scent, suggested General Throckmore. Maybe a human was here months ago. Inquisitor Golmesh shook his ugly head. No. The scent is fresh. Less than a week old. There is a human on this station right now. Admiral Corvin stood up from his chair, his lizard eyes looking around the room suspiciously. If there is a human spy here, they know about our plan. We must find them immediately. Already begun, said the Inquisitor. I have activated full security protocols. No one enters or leaves this station. All personnel will undergo genetic scanning within the next 6 hours. Jake's heart sank. His disguise could fool normal sensors, but the Zarathi had the most advanced detection technology in the galaxy. If they scanned his DNA, they would discover he was human. The meeting continued. But now the aliens were nervous and kept looking around the room. They posted guards at all the doors and started checking identification of everyone who came near the meeting area. Should we delay our attack? Asked Captain Velnath from the robot people. No, said Chancellor Vexani firmly. The bioweapon is ready and our ships are in position. We proceed as planned, but we must find this spy before they can warn Earth. Jake served drinks with steady hands, but his mind was racing. He had maybe 6 hours before they discovered who he was. After that, he would be captured or killed, and 12 billion people would still die tomorrow. During the lunch break, Jake received a message on his secret communicator. It was from Earth's military command, and the words made his situation even worse. Extraction impossible. All rescue ships too far away. Mission priority. Stop bioweapon attack by any means necessary. You are authorized to use extreme measures. Good luck, soldier. Jake understood what this meant. Earth could not save him, and they could not evacuate 12 billion people in time. His commanders were telling him to do whatever it took to stop the genocide, even if it killed him. The afternoon session brought more bad news. The aliens had finished their final preparations. The bioweapon was loaded onto cargo ships that were already flying toward human colonies. The attack would begin at midnight, just as planned. All ships report ready status, Admiral Corvin announced happily. In 8 hours, the human problem will be solved forever. Jake continued his servant duties while listening to the final details. 17 star systems would be attacked simultaneously. The cargo ships would use codes that made them look like normal trade vessels, so human defenses would not stop them. What about Earth itself? Asked the Crystal Ambassador. 3 ships will attack the human homeworld, replied the Admiral. 1 for each continent. The entire planet will be covered in bioweapon within 12 hours. Jake thought about his family. On Earth, his parents, his sister, his friends from childhood. All of them would be dead by tomorrow evening unless he found a way to stop this attack. As the aliens talked, Jake noticed something important. All their communication with the attack ships went through the main computer system in this station. If he could damage that system, the aliens would lose contact with their ships. Without coordination, the attack might fail or be delayed. But there was another problem. Even if Jake stopped the attack temporarily, the aliens would just try again later. He needed to do something more permanent. During a break in the meeting, Jake overheard Chancellor Vexani talking to Captain Velnath about the bioweapon formula. The mind-reading alien was explaining how the weapon worked and how it was made. The molecular structure is very precise, the Chancellor said. If even one element is changed, the weapon becomes useless or might even turn dangerous to those who use it. This gave Jake an idea. If he could access the computer systems that controlled bioweapon production, he might be able to change the formula. Instead of killing humans, the weapon might kill the aliens who tried to use it. But first, he had to survive the genetic scanning that would happen in a few hours. Jake had been trained for many situations, but he had never expected to face advanced alien technology that could see through any disguise. As the afternoon meeting continued, Jake made his decision. He would not wait for the security scan. Tonight, before the aliens could discover who he was, he would strike at the heart of their operation. Jake spent the rest of the afternoon studying the station's computer networks and security systems. He memorized guard schedules and identified the locations of the most important computer cores. When the meeting ended for the day, the aliens were confident and happy. They believed their genocide would succeed, and they thought any human spy would be caught before morning. Jake cleaned the meeting room one last time, knowing it would probably be the last normal thing he ever did. Tomorrow, he would either be dead, or the aliens would know exactly what humans could do when their survival was threatened. As the space station entered its night cycle, Jake prepared for the most important mission of his life. Jake had not slept at all during the night. While the aliens rested in their quarters, he had been busy sabotaging their genocide plan. Moving through service tunnels and computer access areas, he had planted explosives and hacked into the station's main computers. The fourth day started with alarms going off throughout the space station. As Jake arrived at the meeting room with breakfast, he could see that the aliens were worried and confused. "Report," demanded Ambassador Zixathara, as her crystal body flashed angry red colors. Inquisitor Golmesh looked upset, his many eyes darting around nervously. "Multiple system failures across the station. Communication arrays are damaged. Power distribution is unstable. Someone has been sabotaging our equipment." Jake kept his face calm as he served food, but inside he felt satisfied. His small bombs had worked perfectly. The aliens could still talk to each other on the station, but they had lost contact with their attack ships. "What about the bioweapon production?" asked Chancellor Vexani, his large head tilted with worry. Captain Velnoth from the robot people made electronic sounds that meant he was upset. "Bad news. 3 of our manufacturing facilities have reported catastrophic failures. The bioweapon synthesis has been corrupted on all production worlds." Jake almost smiled as he poured water into glasses. During the night, he had accessed the aliens' computer networks and changed the molecular formulas for their bioweapon. Instead of killing humans, the modified weapon would destroy the aliens' own laboratory equipment and poison anyone who tried to handle it. "Impossible," hissed Admiral Corvin. "Our systems are secured against any outside interference." "The sabotage came from inside our own network," reported Inquisitor Golmesh. "Someone with access to our computer systems changed the weapon formulas from within this station." The aliens looked around the room suspiciously. They knew a human was somewhere on the station, but they still did not suspect that their trusted servant was the spy they were hunting for. During the morning, more bad news arrived. The attack ships that were supposed to deliver the bioweapon were reporting equipment failures and navigation problems. Without communication from the command station, many of the ships were lost in space or had turned back to their home bases. Jake continued his duties while listening to the aliens argue and panic. His sabotage had worked better than he had hoped. Not only had he destroyed their bioweapon, but he had also disrupted their entire attack fleet. "We need to implement the backup plan," said Admiral Corvin. "Conventional military assault. My warships can destroy human colonies with plasma bombardment." "That will take months," complained the Crystal Ambassador. "And humans will fight back. They always fight back." Jake served lunch while the aliens debated their new strategy. Without their secret bioweapon, they would have to fight humans in open battle. This would give Earth time to prepare defenses and evacuate civilians from the most dangerous colonies. But Jake's mission was not finished yet. Even if he had stopped the immediate genocide, the aliens would eventually find other ways to attack humanity. He needed to do something that would end their threat permanently. During the afternoon break, Jake overheard something that gave him hope. Inquisitor Golmesh was reporting to the other aliens about his security investigation. "The genetic scans have been delayed due to equipment failures," the multi-eyed creature announced. "However, I have traced the sabotage to someone with daily access to this meeting room. The human spy is someone we see every day." Jake felt sweat forming under his fake alien skin, but he kept working calmly. The Inquisitor was getting close to discovering his identity, but Jake had one more card to play. While serving afternoon drinks, Jake activated a hidden device he had prepared during the night. It was a recording system that had captured every word the aliens had said during their meetings. Now he began broadcasting their genocide plans across the galaxy. Every alien government, every news organization, every military force in known space would hear about the conspiracy to murder 12 billion humans. The recording included detailed confessions from all the alien leaders about their planned bioweapon attack. As the broadcast began, Jake noticed that some of the aliens were receiving urgent messages on their personal communication devices. Their expressions changed from confidence to fear as they realized what was happening. "The humans know," whispered General Thockmore. "Somehow they know everything." Jake continued his servant duties, but he could see that the aliens were starting to panic. Their secret plan was no longer secret. Every species in the galaxy would know that these particular aliens had tried to commit genocide. "How did they get recordings of our private meetings?" demanded the Crystal Ambassador. Chancellor Vexani looked around the room with his big black eyes, and for the first time, those eyes focused on Jake. "The spy is here. In this room, someone has been listening to us for days." Jake knew his time was almost up. His fake alien appearance was starting to fail as stress hormones overwhelmed his disguise. Patches of human skin were becoming visible through the artificial blue coloring. "Search everyone," ordered Admiral Corvin. "Check every person in this room immediately." But before the aliens could act, new alarms began sounding throughout the station. The main viewing screen activated automatically, showing space outside the station. Dozens of human warships were dropping out of hyperspace, surrounding the alien facility. "Impossible," gasped Inquisitor Golmesh. "How did they find us so quickly?" Jake stood up from his position near the wall, and as he did, his cellular disguise finally began to completely fail. The blue skin flickered and changed, revealing the human underneath. "Because," Jake said in his real voice, dropping the fake alien accent he had used for months, "you have had a human recording every word you said." The meeting room erupted in chaos as 12 different alien species suddenly realized that their planned genocide had been stopped by the very species they had wanted to destroy. Jake's human form was fully visible now as the last of his disguise failed. But Jake was not finished yet. He had saved the best revelation for last. During his months of spying, he had learned something that would shock these aliens even more than his presence in their meeting. The humans were coming, and they were not coming to negotiate. The alien leaders stared at Jake in complete shock. His disguise had fallen away completely, revealing a normal-looking human male with brown hair and dark eyes. For months, they had been planning the destruction of his entire species while he served them food and drinks. "Impossible," whispered Ambassador Zix Thera, her crystal body flickering between different colors of fear and rage. "How did a human infiltrate our most secure facility?" Jake smiled grimly as explosions began rocking the space station. His hidden charges were detonating throughout the facility, shutting down weapon systems and trapping the alien leaders in the meeting room. "You want to know what makes humans dangerous?" Jake asked, looking around at the 12 species that had planned genocide. "It is not our strength or our weapons. It is that we never give up, and we never forget what you try to do to us." Through the large viewing windows, the aliens could see human warships taking positions around the station. The ships were enormous, much larger than anything the aliens had expected humans to possess. Admiral Corvin reached for his weapon, but Jake was faster. Months of pretending to be weak had made the aliens forget that humans were also warriors. Jake grabbed a heavy serving tray and struck the lizard admiral across the head, knocking him unconscious. "You plan to murder 12 billion innocent people," Jake continued, his voice getting harder. "Men, women, children, babies, all dead because you were afraid of human expansion." Inquisitor Golmesh tried to activate a security alert, but Jake had already disabled all the station's communication systems. The multi-eyed alien found himself trapped with the others as emergency barriers sealed the meeting room. "The recordings I broadcast across the galaxy included everything," Jake explained. "Every word you said, every detail of your bioweapon, every plan to divide up human territory after we were all dead." Chancellor Vexani, the mind-reading alien, tried to probe Jake's thoughts for information about human defenses. But Jake had been trained to resist mental intrusion. The Chancellor's psychic attack bounced harmlessly off mental barriers that human scientists had developed specifically to stop telepathic species. Surprised? Jake asked, noticing the Chancellor's confusion. Humans have been preparing for contact with hostile aliens for decades. We studied every species in the galaxy, including yours. We know your strengths and your weaknesses. The space station shuddered as human ships began boarding operations. Jake could hear the sounds of fighting in the corridors as human Marines battled alien security forces. But the real surprise, Jake continued, is not that I was here listening to you. The real surprise is what humans do when someone threatens to exterminate our entire species. Captain Velnoth from the robot people tried to access the station's computer systems, but found them completely locked down. What have you done to our networks? I did not just sabotage your bioweapon production, Jake replied. I downloaded everything. Every secret your species have kept for centuries. Military codes, government files, industrial formulas, scientific research. All of it is now in human hands. The alien leaders looked at each other in growing horror as they realized the implications. Their plan to destroy humanity had backfired completely. Instead of eliminating humans, they had given their greatest enemy access to all their most closely guarded secrets. You cannot do this, protested General Throckmore from the Stone People. There are laws about espionage and warfare between species. Jake laughed, but it was not a pleasant sound. Laws? You were planning genocide and you want to talk about laws? 12 billion people were going to die tomorrow and you are worried about espionage regulations? The meeting room doors exploded inward as human soldiers in power armor entered the chamber. The aliens found themselves surrounded by humans carrying weapons that looked more advanced than anything they possessed. Lieutenant Morrison, said the lead soldier, removing his helmet to reveal a scarred human face. Colonel Danny Carter, Earth Special Forces, good work, son. Jake saluted his superior officer, feeling relief for the first time in months. Thank you, sir. The evidence is all recorded and transmitted, every detail of their genocide plan. Colonel Carter looked around, at the alien leaders with cold eyes. So these are the ones who wanted to murder every human in the galaxy. They were going to use a bioweapon, Jake explained. Hit 17 star systems simultaneously. Kill everyone from babies to grandparents just because they were afraid of human expansion. The colonel nodded grimly. The evidence has already been presented to the Galactic Council. These species are being expelled from all interstellar organizations. Their governments are being dissolved, and their military assets are being confiscated. Ambassador Zixthera finally found her voice. You cannot destroy entire civilizations because of the actions of a few leaders. Watch us, replied Colonel Carter. You wanted to commit genocide against humanity. Now you get to learn what humans do to genocidal species. Jake looked around at the aliens who had planned his species' destruction. They were no longer proud and confident. Now they were frightened and powerless, facing the consequences of their evil plans. The interesting thing, Jake said to the alien leaders, is that humans did not want this fight. We were happy to share the galaxy peacefully, but you decided that we were too dangerous to live. He walked over to the viewing window and pointed at the human fleet outside. You were right about one thing. Humans are dangerous, but not in the way you thought. We are dangerous because when you corner us, when you threaten our families and our children, we become something you cannot defeat. The aliens were taken into custody by human soldiers. They would be transported to Earth for trial, where they would face justice for their attempted genocide. As Jake watched the alien leaders being led away, he reflected on the past few months. He had started as a spy trying to gather information about alien military plans. He had ended up preventing the extinction of his entire species. What happens now, sir? Jake asked Colonel Carter. The colonel smiled grimly. Now we make sure this never happens again. The galaxy just learned that humans are not the simple brutish species they thought we were. They learned that we can be as sneaky and clever as any alien when we need to be. Jake nodded, understanding. The aliens had wanted the human dead, not knowing that one was in the room with them. Now the entire galaxy knew what one determined human could accomplish when his species' survival was at stake. The human race would never again be underestimated by alien civilizations. And any species that thought about harming humanity would remember what happened to the aliens, who tried to commit genocide against 12 billion innocent people. They had learned the most important lesson about humans. It is very dangerous to make an enemy of a species that never gives up and never forgets.